Hello everyone, this is Ranjana Tripathi. I'm a life purpose and a transformational coach. I'm also a corporate trainer and a motivational speaker, and also have contributed in a solo book which is Life Unplugged, Connect to the Divinity Within, this is the tagline which I keep using because I still believe that each one of us has some uniqueness. When we were born with some kind of divinity, some kind of uniqueness, some kind of life purpose. It is very important to connect to that particular divinity so that we live the life we deserve. Today, this video is basically for everyone who needs this inspiring story to go and achieve what they aspire to, because they are the only basic thing which I've realized is what successful people have is that decision making quality, that decision making fearless attitude. And for that, one story which I bring to you through this video is it's not fictional. It is a very inspiring story and a real story. So I believe that we will either find a way or make one. And if we don't make excuses often and we don't believe that their success depends on what abilities we are born with, then it means that we are capable enough to achieve whatever we want, because we need those fearless moments, we need those fearless decisions in our life, which may bring some failures, but then we know how to rise out of it and rise above that and create a new world for us. And let's see how in past some few people have done. So this story is from a book which is basically I used to read in my college time. So the data and the statistics would be changed, but the story remains the same. We all know Mr. Honda car and Honda bikes, right? So the story basically is of Mr. Honda only. Mr. Soichiro Honda, founder of the corporation. Like all companies, no matter how large, Honda Corporation began with a decision and a passionate desire to produce a result. In 1938, while he was still in school, Mr. Honda took everything he owned and invested in a little workshop where he began to develop his concept of a piston ring. He wanted to sell his work to Toyota Corporation, so he labored day and night up to his elbows in grease, sleeping in the machine shop, always believing he could produce a result. He even pawned his wife's jewelry to stay in business. But when he finally completed the piston rings and presented them to Toyota, he was told they didn't meet Toyota standards. He was sent back to school for 2 years, where he heard the derisive laughter of his instructors and fellow students as they talked about how absurd his designs were. But rather than focusing on the pain of the experience, he decided to continue to focus on his goal. So the very first thing, you need to focus on your goal, irrespective what failure or what obstacles or what problems you faced while executing that decision. Finally, after 2 more years, Toyota gave Mr. Honda the contract he had dreamed of. His passion and belief paid off because he had known what he wanted, taken action, noticed what was working, and kept changing his approach until he got what he wanted. Then a new problem arose. So he still rose from that problems, and he still tried to a certain extent. When he felt that he could be successful, again a new problem arose. The Japanese government was gearing up for war, and they refused to give him the concrete that was necessary to build his factory. Did he quit there? No. Did he focus on how unfair this was? I don't think so. Did it mean to him that his dream had died? Not at all. Absolutely not. Again, he decided to utilize the experience and developed another strategy. He and his team invented a process for creating their own concrete and then built their factory. Now, during the war, it was bombed twice, destroying major portions of the manufacturing facility. Honda's response? What could be the response of Honda? If we were in his shoes, what could have been our response? Think about it. He immediately rallied his team and they picked up the extra gasoline cans that the US fighters had discarded. He called them gifts from President Truman because they provided him with the raw materials he needed for his manufacturing process, materials that were unavailable at the time in Japan. Finally, after surviving all of this, an earthquake leveled his factory. Honda decided to sell his piston operations to Toyota. Here is a man who clearly made strong decisions to succeed. He had a passion for and belief in what he was doing. He had a great strategy. He took massive action. He kept changing his approach, but still he would not produce the result that he was committed to. Yet he decided to persevere. So even if he could not see the light, he still believed that after the end of the dark tunnel, there would be something positive for him, something which is going to light his entire passage which he is going through. After the war, a tremendous gasoline shortage hit Japan and Mr. Honda couldn't even drive his car to get food for his family. Finally, in desperation, he attached a small motor to his bicycle. The next thing he knew, his neighbors were asking if he could make one of his motorized bikes for them. One after another, they jumped on the bandwagon until he ran out of motors. He decided to build a plant that he would manufacture motors for his new invention. But unfortunately, he didn't have the capital. As before, he made the decision to find a way no matter what. His solution was to appeal to the 18,000 bicycle shop owners in Japan by writing them each a personal letter. He told them how they could play a role in revitalizing Japan through the mobility that his invention could provide, and convinced 5,000 of them to advance the capital he needed. Still, his motorbike sold to only the most hardcore bicycle fans because it was too big and bulky. So when you find the problem, you don't stop there. You improvise it. You try to find an alternative solution to it. That is what the successful people have in them, right? So still his motorbike sold to only the most hardcore bicycle fans because it was too big and bulky. So he made one final adjustment and created a much lighter scaled down version of his motorbike. He christened it the Super Cub, and it became an overnight success, earning him the Emperor's Award. Later he began to export his motorbikes to the baby boomers of Europe and the United States, following up in the 70s with the cars that have become so popular. Today, the Honda Corporation employs over 1 lakh people in both the United States and Japan. This is the data and statistics which was probably in 1997, 1998 when I bought this book, right? And it's considered one of the biggest car making empires in Japan, outselling all but Toyota in the United States. It succeeded because one man understood the power of a truly committed decision that is acted upon, no matter what the conditions, on a continuous basis. Whatever the condition was, he kept working. See, it looks very easy when we are listening. It seems to be very, very easy when we are reading. But imagine, put yourself in the shoes of Mr. Honda, and then you will come to know, you may realize in past in your life also, there may be many, many events, many, many situations which were setbacks, which were not so good, not so cool as you wanted. And how many times we did actually leave the dream, leave the goal there itself, because we were not committed to that particular goal. It was just in our wish list, and we were not so sure about what we want in our life. So henceforth, when after watching this video, if the story really inspires you, I would suggest go back, write your goals again, read them, and see how many of you or how many of the goals did you leave it abruptly, and it is still possible to continue with them with some kind of fearless way of approaching it. So how do you do that? So basically it is like, you need, if you want really success, you have to have a long-term focus. Don't see the small hiccups which comes in your way. It will come, anyhow it is going to come. So what matters is, if you are able to take certain decisions for them. What I suggest, if only you could take 2 decisions every day in your life. One is the easiest one and another would be the toughest one, which pushes you out of your comfort zone. So the toughest one, if you could give a try on that, and if you have started practicing them, you may fail, you may have lots of challenges doing that. But what you need to understand is, if you're really committed to the goal which you have decided for yourself, amidst all those challenges, you need to improvise it or come out with some alternative solutions. This was one of the story which I really loved it, because one of my webinar is going to come soon on decision making tools and techniques, and how we, by taking good decisions and practicing more on decisions, we can achieve what we commit to ourselves. Till then, have a great day, stay safe.